In this video we are going to create a React form using Formik, and we are going to use Formik for handling form state, validation and error handling. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back to another video. I'm Hamza Ali and you're watching Code with Hami. So right now I just have this one field form which is full name and a button that says sign up. So first of all I'll just add simple other fields into this form. So the form UI of our form is complete. Now we are going to use Formik to handle states of the form and also the validations. And for validations we are going to use the yup library. It just makes the validation simple. So in this video I'm going to use the Formik hook, which is useFormik, and I'm going to import it from the Formik library. You can install Formik by just simply running a command npm install Formik. This will install the Formik library, and so we have Formik imported in our file. So now what we need to do next is we are going to use this useFormik hook, and to do that, the useFormik hook gives us some attributes which are values that are going to be the values of these input fields, and the errors field. Then we have handle change, so we don't need to write a handle change function, and also we have handle submit, which is going to be triggered when we want to submit our form. So now we are going to we will need to give this hook the initial values of this form. So what I mean by the initial values is the initial value for this name field, email and password and confirm password field, and which are going to be an object which will contain the names of the field, and for the initial values of these field will be an empty string. So then we have this confirm password. So now the initial values of our form is set. Now what we need to do is we are going to give this pass a submit function, which is going to be handle form submit. So the S of the on submit should be capital. Now we are going to write the handle submit function here. So now we have this handle form submit function as well. So after this, the Formik needs a validation schema, which is going to be equal to validation schema, and we are going to write this validation schema in a bit. So now I'm going to write this validation schema right here. So if we do that, first we need to install yup, and to do that you can do this like yup from yup. So I have this yup library already installed. So if you want to install this yup library, just simply run the command npm install yup. This will install the yup library. And now for what we need to do is we need to configure the yup, and to do that we will go and yup object. It is a function, and then we will use a shape, which is this lets the yup know that this is going to be an object, and the shape is going to be the shape of our object, which will be equal to which will be similar to this. So now if we want to add the validations name, so we will have the validation on our name field. What should be the validation on this field, name field? It should not be an empty. So to do that we are going to go and yup then it should be a string. After that we are going to pass required. So what will this will do is it will confirm that it will make sure that the name field is a string field and also it is a not an empty field. So now after adding the email name validation, we are going to add the email validation, which is going to be yup string dot email and then also dot required. So this will make our email a string, should be a string, and it will validate that the email is a valid email and it is going to be a required field. After that we are going to add the validation for our password field. So I'm just going to go with the password field, simple password validation, which is going to be that password is required and it should be a minimum length 8. So for minimum length validation we are going to use this min, and we are going to pass the validation for the number of the length number that we want for the password to be. And the second parameter this min function takes is the error when this condition is not met, by which I mean that if the password is less than 8 length, so we are going to populate an error which is going to be password must be greater than or must be of 8 characters, and then it is going to be a required field. We can also pass our custom error message here. So I'm just going to go with password is required. Now we have this confirm password field. The only validation I want to add on this confirm password field is it should be equal to this password. So to do that we are going to use, first we are going to let yup know that it should be a string, and then we are going to use another function of yup which is one of, and we are going to pass. This means that this will let us let yup know that it should be equal to one of the fields that are already present in this shape. So in our case, which is going to be, now we are going to pass yup.ref, and we are going to pass the name of the field that we want this confirm field to be equal to, which is going to be password, and the second parameter that it takes is null. And after that we are going to pass the error that it should throw once this field is not met, once this condition is not met, and it is going to be passwords must match. So the validation is complete. The only thing we need to do is we need to add this here, which is already added. After this I'm going to save this, so you can see we don't have any errors right now. So now we are going to pass the handle change function to this input component. I have already created this input component, as you can see here. So now we are going to pass, it takes an on change method as well. We are going to pass a handle change function which is provided to us by Formik, this one. And now after this, the values, for value we are going to use values from the Formik. Value, it should be equal to values dot name, because the name of our field is name, so it should be the value should be equal to values dot name. So we are going to do this for other fields as well, and it should be equal to email, then this should be equal to password, and this should be equal to confirm password. Now if we save this and we type something in it, you can see we got, so email, sorry I had this, so I'll just change the name of this email field to email. Now if I type in both of these, it should work properly. So now our values are being populated in the text fields. So right now the errors are not being populated. Okay. So if we hit on click on sign up right now, the errors are not being populated right now because we don't have any submit function on this form. So to do that, we are going to add on submit, and we are going to call handle submit, which is provided by to us by Formik. So after handle submit, if we click on sign up, you can see nothing, no error appears on our form, which is this happens because we did not use this error field which is provided to us by Formik. So to use this, we are going to, so first this input component takes an error props as a prop as well, which will populate the error. So we are going to pass the error field, and it is going to be equal to errors dot name of the field, and then this is going to be equal to errors dot email, and this is going to be errors dot password and errors dot confirm password. So now if I click on sign up, we should be able to see these errors. So the confirm password error is not being displayed because the validation we added on this field is the confirm password should be equal to password, which in this case is because the password is empty and confirm password is also empty. But if we type ASTF in password and just A in confirm password, you can see we got this password must match error populated on this confirm password field. So now we handle these passwords and also the values of these fields as well. So what we need to do next is we need to call a function handle, which is we need to call a handle submit function, which in our case is going to be handle form submit, and the Formik handle submit returns us the value, two parameters which are values, and the other one is actions. So now we have these both of these values, and if I go on and print out these values, we should be able to see the values of our field. So if I click on it, it does not, if there is any error in the form, it does not go onto the submit function. So if I add some values here, and if I click on sign up, as you can see we got these values here: confirm password, email, name and password. So the Formik hook also gives us another attribute, which is submitting, which let us know that the form is being submitted or not. So what we are going to do with this is we are going to replace the text of our sign up with something like if the form is submitting, we are going to change the text to submitting, and if other than that, it will be equal to sign up. So now if we click, first we need to add some values. Now if we click on it, you can see we got this submitting, but as you can see, the submitting is not being changed to sign up. This is because we did not reset the form to its initial state, and to do that we are going to go and just add actions dot reset form, and it will reset our form. So now if I refresh it and add some values here, now if I click on sign up, it is not changing the text to submitting. This is because as soon as we click on sign up, it just resets the form state to initial state, and the is submitting is set to false as soon as it is set to true. So first, but to handle this, we are going to, so generally in form submission we call the API, we make an API call. But right now in this video I'm not going to do any API calls, but I'm going to write a promise which is going to wait for a 2-second interval, and then after after 2 seconds it is going to run these two lines as well also. So now to write the promise, we are going to write this like await promise, and then we will have the resolve. It takes a callback, and after that we are going to set timeout, which is going to be resolve and then 2000. This is a millisecond, 2000, which is equal to 2 seconds. And what we are doing in this is promise, we are going passing a callback function which takes a parameter resolve, and after set timeout, in set timeout we are calling a function. So this is the function, and this is the time interval that it should take to execute this function. So after 2 seconds this is going to execute this resolve function, and what this resolve does is it returns the promise, so currently we are getting this error. To resolve this, we are going to add this async here, and you can see we got the error just disappeared. So now if I save this and type some values in our field, and if I click on sign up, you can see we got this submitting, and after 2 seconds the form is reset to its initial value, and the submitting is changed to sign up. So just to recap, what we did in this video is we used the useFormik hook to handle states errors of our form and also the change of these fields. Then we have this handle submit for function, and for validation, what we did was we used this yup library to write our validations. So there are two ways to use Formik in our project. One is this useFormik hook, and the other one is component. In this video we use this useFormik hook approach, and in next video I'll use the component approach to implement the similar behavior. The component approach is quite similar to this useFormik approach, but instead of this function, we write in the component approach we write everything in a JSX form. So that's it from this video. See you in the next one.